Hello and welcome everybody to the VooPlayer Q&A weekly webinar call. We're going to get started here in just a minute, but before we do, if you could confirm that you can both hear my voice as well as see my screen, which should say VooPlayer Q&A on it, and then we can get started. Thank you. Will and Rick are confirming that both the audio and video connection are fine, so we can get started. And Dean is there as well. Hello, guys. Again, really low turnout on the webinar, so no need to necessarily go through the whole spiel of what the webinar is about, just for the replay in case anybody is watching. Thanks for your patience as I just run through the motions of the introduction. So the VooPlayer Q&A webinar. My name is Peter, VooPlayer's product manager. Here to answer any questions, provide training on advanced features, showcase new stuff that we've been working on, as well as answer any, or rather organize and prioritize and collect and sort any feedback, ideas, suggestions, criticisms for improvement of VooPlayer in the future in order to have it continue contributing value to you guys. So the format is pretty straightforward. So at any time that you have a question, or if you came prepared with any questions, just drop them in the chat box, and we'll start answering them in the order that they come in. If you're unable to answer, if you're not able to attend any of these calls, the replays are available on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/VooPlayer, as well as on our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/VooPlayer. Also, if you're willing or feel a need to contribute to the ideas and would like to stay in the loop on everything going on with VooPlayer inside of the application, right above your image here, you can just always click on submit and vote on ideas, which will take you to our product portal board, where you can see stuff that we're currently working on, stuff that we are considering working on, and stuff that we have recently launched. And most importantly, as I mentioned, you can just click over here in the top right corner on submit an idea, and there you can describe what's of importance to you and what kind of a priority does it carry, and that way we can get that on the board for other users to contribute to as well. As you can see, all of these integration requests, for example, have been submitted by users and are gathering momentum, allowing us to ensure viability of those integrations as something valuable to be added to VooPlayer. So that's the gist of it. We're getting some more attendees. Hello to Stefano as well. So cool. One short announcement I wanted to make before getting to your questions and comments with regards to a couple of issues that we had this past week, this past week with regards to the server going down a couple of times. So it happened on Sunday morning, and that was the bad one that lasted for, I think, almost 3 or 4 hours that we were down. And also there was an issue, I can't remember, I think this was on Monday or Tuesday, the week previous to this one. So what I would like to stress is that we sincerely regret any downtime that may have caused negative impacts on your business and performance of your campaigns. But we are really doing everything in our best efforts to ensure stuff like that doesn't happen. It is increasingly difficult, as I think I mentioned previously on webinars, with a growing volume of traffic, especially in cloud hosting environment, in a cloud hosted environment. So one of the issues that we're having is that WooPlayer doesn't reside on the application itself, doesn't reside on physical servers. It resides in cloud servers where you are sort of sharing resources with other clients in that cloud space. And whenever one of them overutilizes something, you are on the thick end of it. And that's what's, I mean, cloud hosting has its positive sides, such as distribution and scaling are a lot easier. There's always pros and cons to everything. However, what I wanted to let you know, just to keep it short, is that the issues were mostly not that difficult. It's that recovering from those issues was what was the problem, with no one being available immediately to, let's just describe it simply, execute restart connections on the servers which needed to be reconfigured. So this week we've dedicated a lot of time, and we've completed and successfully deployed and tested a solution which will, whenever the issue, if it happens again, and if history is any sort of a teacher, it's likely to happen again. When it happens again, we've implemented a switch which would automatically restart all of the machines, or rather server instances, which are in play. So we've implemented a solution which should prevent, even in the case of any downtime, that downtime taking more than a few seconds. So I just wanted to share that. And once more, even though it is our architecture, but I'd like you to understand that it's not all in our control on what we can maintain and have be available with regards to server resources. All right, so cool. So let's get to your comments. So Rick is saying, happy upcoming 4th of July, everyone. Any 4th summer deals? Not in July. However, I don't have a date for this yet, but I think sometime in August, mid to end August, I think there is some sort of a summer promotion going on, and I don't have full details on that yet, but nothing immediate coming down the pipeline in July. Would love to hear what kind of deals are you hoping for, because maybe we put out deals which are not appealing to you. So if you were hoping to upgrade to a particular WooPlayer license, or obtain additional resources such as storage or bandwidth, or SMS credits, or transcribe minutes, or what have you, would really love to learn what kind of deals are most attractive to you guys, so that we can make sure that we include them in our promotions. That will be good information. Rick is asking, why doesn't the Demio auto connect when the webinar starts? I don't know. I'm not aware of any issues. Why doesn't it auto connect when the webinar starts? So you, as a viewer of the webinar, are sort of stuck there waiting until you kind of click join or something like that. I'm not sure how it works on your end. I'll have to do a test webinar just to test it out. Dean is answering because that is the way the program works. Stefano is saying, yeah, noticed them. Thanks for clarifying this point. Would appreciate an email to notify us of those events still. so that'll be a great thing to do, Stefano. Even though we would only be able to do that retroactively. So it will be, hey, we just went down and recovered, as what kind of goes down with the entire system is the database of users would just becomes unavailable. It just can't be reached. All of those resources in the worst case scenario. So that's one advantage of of cloud hosting. So let's say the entire freaking data center just sets on fire and burns. All of the data, all of the videos, all of the user records, etc., are safe across multitude of locations across the globe. However, the unfortunate part of it is that you're unable to establish connection with them in when you need to restart those connections. And in those connections, when we're unable to obtain the WooPlayer application, where I'm unable to obtain our users on everything. So that's why we are unable. One thing that we have considered doing. Let me get into this. I'm interested to learn how many of you would be interested in this. So currently we have status.wooplayer.com. So some of you might be familiar with this. So this is the why did you go all the way there? So this is a very simple solution, and this is provided by Pingdom. Some of you might use it for performance testing and observing of your resources, and it provides sort of this uptime dashboard, which lets you know what's been going on with the application. However, it's not that great. So what we've seen a lot of people using is, I think it's called Status Page, if I'm not mistaken. So Status Page is sort of the same resource with one significant difference. And if this is really valuable to you guys, I'm sure that we can make this switch. Let me just think of an example that uses that. I think Intercom does this, status.intercom.com maybe. I don't know. Intercomstatus.com. So it's sort of the same sort of a update where you see, hey, here are all of the uptimes and downtimes and incidents, etc. However, one important difference here is that you can click on subscribe to updates, maybe subscribe to updates, and then you can give them your email. So let's say they give them my email and subscribe via email, and then you get all of the notifications about all of the incidents to your email address. So if something like that, or maybe even you don't even have to, you can, what all options do they have here? RSS feed, tweet when something, a phone, which will ring to let you know that something has happened. So if this is really of value, I'll add this to the product board, and that way we can talk more about how important and what are the best ways to inform you of both incidents, planned maintenances, and so on. Why do I keep zooming in like this? Rick is saying, has the implementation been tested? Probably in reference to the restart switch that I was discussing. Yes, it's been tested, and that's so we've actually after the incident on Tuesday, we've developed that switch and just let it sit there and monitor it. And then when the incident on Sunday happened, it should have kicked in, and we saw it try to kick in, but we didn't yet enable it. So we know that if we were not so cautious and just let it do its thing, then on Sunday we wouldn't have had that problem. But it was a viable experience and a good learning experience. So we know that it works. Will is saying the iOS native full screen feature works fine. Just tap the full screen button and the video will merge to the default iOS view. That is a statement. I'm not sure, Will, if you have a question with regards to that. Any concerns with regards to the native iOS behavior? Just let us know. Rick is saying the webinar starts and I have to hit login. Stefano is saying I'll let you know about it next time then. Roger says A direct comparison of features to Wistia would be informative. A direct comparisons of features are difficult to execute. However, and compare. How does that go? Go to player.com/compare. Maybe comparison, not compare. There we go. So here is this page, which is currently a bit wacky, but we get the idea. So here we have comparison of features for hosting, playback, player customization, marketing tools, analytics, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, with regards to what VooPlayer provides, what Wistia provides, what Vimeo Pro provides, what YouTube provides, what Brightcove provides, and what Sprout Video provides, as well as with sort of capacities and pricing for all of those, which are kind of difficult to see right now. I'll have to see what's going on with this page, but I just wanted to make this link available to you, Roger. One thing that's difficult about this is that it's not up to date. So we're having a difficult time sort of managing a list of all of the features, because different features have different use cases, and then what's the best way to label a particular toggle for controls. One option inside of the application can be 10 different features depending on how people are using it. And as you know, we're continually adapting them and improving them and releasing new ones. So as far as considering sort of the latest and up-to-date information, we have this spreadsheet which we update sort of religiously. License information. So in this article, license information, let me just share that as well. At the bottom of it, you have compare all features, and there we have a spreadsheet of everything that's available on all different VooPlayer plans. So that's what I would always refer to as sort of the latest up-to-date full spreadsheet of features, and even I think on the home page we're linking to that spreadsheet now. Maybe we even sort of maybe introduce a spreadsheet which would clone off of that one and provide a comparison. I don't know. I'll give that some thought and think of the best way. But for now, this is the closest that we have to the up-to-date comparison. Rick is saying, before it would connect to the webinar and wait to begin. When Peter came on and automatically played the webinar, but now I have to be here to hit login. That's interesting. It does the same for me. I just clicked the button. Stefano is saying, I have submitted a problem on mobile about a week ago. Any comment? There's a screenshot. Let me just take impossible to see the full screen button. Yeah, I actually think that's already resolved. So if that's the issue that I'm thinking about, yeah, that's resolved, and that's awaiting the production release for this week. So it's going to become available, and I think within today, or not today, tomorrow, or the day after, that's going to be addressed and fixed. Thanks for identifying that, Stefano. I was scrolling through the developer tests today, and I've seen that issue on the full screen option not being available, and I know that's been completed. Will is saying, not a question, just a test update. Stefano is saying, not sure how to make sense of this. Let's see what we have here. Good point. Stefano brings a good point as well, and this is something that's been troubling me lately as well. So I might as well get your opinion on this. It might be best to have sort of a completely, no, where is that spreadsheet that I had? All right, let me just reopen it. So it might be best to have just one centralized resource for all of the comparisons, even though I have a feeling that might be overly confusing as well. But we have this comparison, which is all of the features. And then we have the comparison for Vue player integrations. So here are the Vue player integrations comparisons. And actually what's missing here already is, I know that we are missing, insert one above. So we are missing Google Analytics, right, from this, because we offer, and that's available, I think, on the startup and the enterprise. And there you can, video personalization, no. Sending data events, yes. Contact tags, yes, I believe so. So how to make sense of this? So this is a list of Vue player integrations. In the first column, as it should be obvious, we are seeing what the providers are for the third-party integrations and their plan availability on which you can utilize those integrations. So this column, create contact, indicates whether or not you can use the lead generating forms from within the Vue player, such as the opt-in or phone or any of the overlay capture data inputs to create contact on those forms. So for example, with the HubSpot, you can connect the HubSpot integration to gather leads from the email opt-in form inside of Vue player. Personalization column should be self-explanatory, means that you can utilize the data fetched from the provider to personalize the content inside of Vue player. Sending data events means everything from this contact has finished watching this video and they've watched 52% of it, to this user has clicked on this overlay, etc., etc. So all of those data events are available on the integrations, which are identified in those green check boxes in this columns. And contact tags are so for example, in ActiveCampaign. So if you have a contact inside of a ActiveCampaign that you've sent a link to watch the video, so you've sent them to mysite.com/myvideo page, and then you identify the contact in the query string by saying contact equals stefano@gmail.com. Inside of Vue player, let me just open this up just so I'm not talking blindly. Inside of Vue player, you can specify tags which will be activated at specific times in the video. And that way, so ActiveCampaign contacts have their own tags and they can be anything that you specify. And one of the ways in which people utilize that, I've seen a lot of examples of people using this on ActiveCampaign, but also on Intercom and HubSpot. You can come over here to say add an integration tag, and you can select what do I have? I have ActiveCampaign, and you can give the tag name of watched, let's say 30% or whatever of demo video, for example. And I can set this tag to fire at second 30 and just save it. And I can add as many of these as I want to my video. So every time a contact comes to watch this and they hit this tag, that tag will be assigned to that contact inside of the CRM. So hopefully that column is making sense as well. Now, a little bit more. I should add some explanations here around what each one of these is. I'll be sure to do that, actually. This is something that's been bothering me a little bit, unifying these resources a little bit. So What else did I? Oh yeah, and upload videos is simply the ability to upload videos to the integration. The only one which currently is Amazon Web Services S3, but as we are also considering Google Cloud for being able to upload videos directly to Google Cloud for your storage and hosting space. Missing the gist integration, or am I wrong? You are not wrong. We are indeed missing a gist. So let me just add that as well. So that's gist, or previously known as ConvertFox, I believe. And that's available on all licenses, if I'm not mistaken. And you can create a contact there. You can use it for personalization. Can you use it for personalization? I'm not sure. I'll just leave that blank for now. Sending events, yes, and contacts, I'm sure that you can do. I'm not sure about personalization from Gist. I think you are able to do so. Let me double check. I don't have. Do I have an integration with ConvertFox? Let me just double check. I do not at this time. All right, cool. That much for integration. Now I'll set some time apart to ensuring that this is a little bit more clear with regards to what these are, as well as maybe unify the comparison a little bit further, just to eliminate any misunderstandings. All right, Rick is saying to play an ad during a video, the video needs to be broken into segments to play the ads in between the video. To play an ad during a video, the video needs to be broken into segments to play the ads in between the video. Maybe you can clarify that a little bit more, Rick. So you have within VooPlayer basically two different ways in which you can play ads. The first one, the most simplest one, which doesn't allow you to break the video in any way, is through the use of the pre and post roll features. So you can just set up a video which will play prior to the main video and after the interactions in CTAs and pre and post roll videos. You can specify a video which will go before the video and video which will go after the main video. However, in addition to that, you are also able to provide a VAST feed, either as an XML or as a link feed. And what a VAST feed and vPlay feeds as well are, we've gone into a lot of detail with regards to this VAST feed Google example, maybe. This might actually be good. So yeah, this is pretty good. So these feeds within themselves for ads, and these are provided usually by ad networks, or if you're able to run your own ad servers, you're able to configure these as well. However, these feeds, links, sets of information regarding ads contain the information for, hey, this is an ad which can be skipped and it's playing in line. This is a link, a video which will just play inside linearly without you being able to skip, etc., etc. So these have a lot of different options with a lot of different specifications for interactions that the viewer has with regards to those ads. And it's important to note that, so these are not you don't configure anything with inside of VooPlayer with regards to being able to skip them or being able to play them in line, or at which point are they played in line. Is one played or three played during the one play of the video? All of that is configured inside of these feeds. So VooPlayer just supports the format in which these feeds are provided. So all you do is just grab this feed from VooPlayer, from your ad network, and you just and you simply provide it as the ad that you want to have, and just save. And that's all the configuration that you would need for these videos. Let me just double check to see if I don't know if the Google examples work currently, but something is going on with the video. I think the main video is not playing, so I think there must be something with the ads, or actually I might have an ad blocker running. I do have an ad blocker running, but basically, if you have that sort of a format, vPlay or vast feeds, you're able to specify within those feeds the behavior of ads, regardless of the WooPlayer configuration. Will is saying access code feature is highly upvoted. Will this feature be released? It is highly upvoted, but highly complicating the way in which WooPlayer works. So I would say, even though, let's say, it has the highest number of votes currently, for it to be justified, it needs to be rock solid idea that everybody is on board with, and it would need a lot more support than, for example, an integration with Drip. I would do that right now. Tomorrow I would do an integration with Drip, whereas that access code needs like 100 more votes to be validated as an idea, just because it's such a comprehensive thing that needs to happen. Stefano is saying, so what's the difference between the startup and enterprise plan? Only the space. A lot of features. I don't believe funnels are available on. There's the comparison right there, so you can see what's the difference between the startup. So you don't have the white label, you don't have the reports, you don't have funnels, you don't have email automation, you don't have advanced integrations, you don't have the video watch notification, you don't have the email verification, you don't have the pay-per-view option, you don't have the etc. You have the comparison chart, so you can dive into a little bit details on that. Sorry, I got the right chart. Not to, all right, cool. I'm glad you were able to identify that resource, Stefano. Cool. All right, we ran the time here a little bit. We have time for Dean's one more question. Not to tick you off, but if you had to guess, when will the new funnels be starting to have a rebuild? Really like the way you're going and want to use it when done. I think I've mentioned this previously. The focus has shifted from sort of rebuilding funnels to increasing the stability of the application and the performance of the servers. So if everything maintains as it should, when we don't have any more incidents, which are really our primary concerns to try to avoid, that would allow us, so if the switch that we've developed that I just talked about on the beginning of the webinar functions as it should, that would give us not only more energy, space, and time to work on new modules and features such as funnels, but it would give us a peace of mind, resting assured that we're able to dedicate to something else. So that's the main concern. So once we're sure that the performance issues have dissipated, then we're going to realign the focus back onto funnels. I think I've talked about this openly over the last couple of webinars. So not going to be ticked off regardless of what the questions is. Rick is saying, I love 4th of July, the Independence Day, Fort Lauderdale Beach. Everyone's welcome to come. Thanks for the invitation, Rick. Might have to take you up on that if I can book some flights. I wish everybody a happy holiday who's celebrating it in the US, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Thank you for taking this time this week to help us improve WooPlayer. Goodbye, everybody.